Good morning, everyone. My name is Norman Kump. My career field has been in manufacturing in a machine shop environment since I was 18 years old. Currently, I work for Honeywell. They have several large machining departments, and I'm the manager over the tool makers. In one department, it's about 85 employees. And at Honeywell, at BOTS, we make the non-nuclear components for our nation's nuclear arsenal. So that's about the extent of what I could get into with this particular Honeywell. When you would Google Honeywell itself, there's a whole bunch. They make aerospace parts, air filters, thermostats, but the particular field that I'm in is for the nuclear side of it.
All right, yeah. And Honeywell's with government, right?
Well, Honeywell is a contractor for the government on it.
Contractor.
We've got the bid for the Department of Energy, and Honeywell runs that kind of bid for, kind of like renting it, on it. The government has their needs part of energy to make the components for the weapons, and Honeywell kind of runs that department for them.
All right.
So we're kind of like a subcontractor for it.
All right. All right. So thank you, Norman, for taking the time today to join us. I just have a few questions to ask you today, and so that our students can have a chance to learn more about what you do in your career path. So first off, we can just start. How did you get to where you are today, and where would you like to go in your career in the future?
Well, to get where I am today, it's obviously something that doesn't happen overnight. I started out of high school, wasn't ready for college right away, so I went to a local machine shop. It's called Best Tool Manufacturing. It was in North Kansas City at the time. Currently, it went out of business a couple of years ago. The owner of it passed away, and the son didn't want it, so closed it. So I took the machine shop trade, and while I was there for 8 years, I also took my tool and die apprenticeship program with the company. And while I was there, and I completed it, and then you use that tool and die certificate. I ended up getting working for a larger company. At that time, it was called Sealrite. Now it's called Huhtamaki. They make all your packaging containers, like your Taco Bell drink cups, McDonald's French fry holders, all your ice cream containers, uh, anything round out of paper, basically, Chinette paper plates, all with safe paper plates. So I started out there as a machinist, and then a lead machinist, and then tool maker, lead tool maker, supervisor, and eventually ran that department for 15 years. And then I kind of plateaued my career there 3 years ago. Still have quite a few years to work. And then one person was above me, and he was the plant manager, and he was currently right at my age also. So I was at that particular company, Sealrite slash Huhtamaki, for 23 years. So it was a huge decision for myself and my family to leave that company part ways. And then I went to Honeywell, where I'm at right now. Started out at Honeywell. They hired me as a supervisor. And then over a year ago, I got promoted to the manager of the machine shop. So every time you go, somewhere, it's great to have, great ambitions to start out at the top. Sometimes it works out for you, it does. And other times you might have to take a step backwards. Being a supervisor was a step backwards, but eventually I got back to where I was on it. So it's a lot of hard work, dedication, and you have to have goals that you believe are realistic, also to sit there and say, I'm going to be president of the company at Sealrite, Huhtamaki, or Honeywell. No, that's not even realistic, for my career path, on it. But it is for others, everyone in your classes, they got the youth on their side, and just depends on your career path and the direction you guys would like to go.
All right. All right. So then the next, my bad. All right. So the next question is, for thinking about your daily work, what's the favorite part of your job?
The favorite part, that's fairly easy. When the department does well, on it, you get the kudos for it. Hey, nice job. But really, I don't do it. The guys in the department, guys and gals in the department, they're the ones cutting the chips, making the parts. So it's nice to get the praise of the other senior manufacturing managers and the directors saying, hey, the department's doing a great job. You finished these hot jobs, finished them on time, in budget, good quality parts. So you get a satisfaction out of knowing you're running a team that got congratulations from higher ups, on it. So it's nice. It's always, you have to remember, it's a team environment. There's no one at any company that does it all themselves, on it. It's always, any success is on the team, any failures on the team. is just working together. There's months that we don't do that well. You got to just, get back together. Hey, what happened? We scrapped a couple parts out, or, we took too long to make something on it. Just getting the team together and be sure to giving praise. If I receive praise, I'm the first one to go out there on the floor. Hey, I didn't make the part. This guy did. Be sure that he gets to praise or she gets to praise, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that did the work. It's always nice. I want to be sure to say it's always nice that at the end of the year you get a 2, 3, 4, 5% raise. But a lot of times just to say thank you, you did a great job. That goes a long way. Also, sometimes a lot more than that dollar an hour. Like that, because dollar an hour you'll end up spending it, but that thank you and giving them a note or something like that, great job on this, it does mean a lot. The individuals. So just be sure to uh, congratulate your team, because it's a team environment, your successes and failures.
Mm-hmm. And then, is there any part that of your job that you do now in manufacturing that is possibly not as enjoyable as staying having success with the department?
Well, sure. I mean, there's anytime the hardest part of the job is giving, I guess, constructive feedback. When someone's not doing well, you got a D on a test, on it. Teachers explaining it to you. It's nicer to say, hey, man, you got an A, great job, high five. You get a D, coming out to them, hey, what happened? Did you not study? Did you not do it? Why didn't you do it? You didn't put your effort into it. Same way in the manufacturing environment. No one comes into work wanting to scrap apart or not do quality work on it. Sometimes it does happen, and then you have to have the willingness to confront that person and tell them, listen, your behavior, your work is not up to par. What's going on? What's happening? Sometimes it's simple explanation. Oh, I just messed this dimension, flip numbers around, transpose numbers. But just to have that hard conversation, it's fair to everyone. It's nice to say, hey, here's 50 cents. That's easy to have that communication, but it's also the hard part is being honest with the people, saying, listen, you're only going to get 15 cents this time because of your performance, and let them know what it is. We're in the adult world. It's days of kindergarten are over. Give them praise, but also give them honest feedback if they're not meeting your expectations.
Right. And then, so earlier you mentioned that you said that you weren't ready for college. Just do you what? So if you didn't do, so did you go to college or
Yes.
any school?
Yes. So originally when I got to high school, so I was, C student, so not really hip hip hooray, let's go to school. I was tired of it. So I started, like I said, 8 years at a Best Tool machine shop. And then I started out at Sealright / Hudemaki. I was there probably about 10 years, and then, got as high as I could get there, supervisor on it. And then if you want to be into the manager, you needed a bachelor's degree. So then I went to Kansas City, Kansas Community College, got my associate's degree, and then eventually went to Park University and got my bachelor's in business. And the company paid for it. Your 4-year degree, when you start working, it's nice. Uh, Let me back up. When you work at a companies, large companies like this, almost all of them offer college. Okay, so the college would be free. So I got my 4-year degree from Sealright Hudemaki. I don't know, maybe it's $100,000 degree for free. All I had to do was 1 year after you graduate, you have to promise to stay with the company. So I definitely would expect, hope everyone that's on the hourly side, in our workforce also. Nothing wrong with not going to school, but if you want to get into a management role, you have to get some college like that. Hard part is your 4-year degree took me about 7 years, because you're working full time and you can't take your 15 credit hours like you typically would a full time student. So you're taking 4 or 5 credits. And then it's hard also, you're married and then you have children, like that. So it's definitely, if you're ready for college, by all means, go to it. But if you're not, it doesn't mean it's the end all do all. Get yourself out there in the working force, but then take the opportunity to get it. I always use the example: you could be 50 years old with a degree, or you could be 50 years old without a degree. So why not get one, especially if the company would pay for it like that? So yes, I got my degree, and that helped me get the position of the manager at Sealright Hudemaki and also at Honeywell.
All right. And then, so for the word success, how would you describe that word?
Success: loving what you do, taking care of your family. That's success. you have to work, when you start out, you're, 18 years old. You're going to have to work from when you're 18 to when you're 62, 65, 67, 40 plus years. You're going to have to work. Find something you're really going to enjoy, because 40 years, it's 40 years. It takes a long time. Find something you do, that's success. If you could take care of your family, provide for them, get a nice home, cars, education, that's success. Like what you do, take care of your family. Are you going to be a millionaire? Maybe, maybe not. But I sleep in the same bed as the president. I can not same bed. Take it back. I sleep. I sleep in a bed similar to what our president of the company does. He has a lot more headaches than I do. But if that's your ambition, by all means, go for it. But that's success to me. Just take care of your family, pay your bills, and enjoy what you do. Help others. You could go along the way. Starting out at 18, I didn't know anything. I was sweeping the floor. That's honestly, that's true. Sweeping the floor at the best tool. I didn't know anything. I'm out of high school. They gave me a chance, $4 an hour, and look where I am today because of that chance. Hard work, dedication. Listen when your boss says. Don't be a smart aleck. Be humble. Ask questions and learn from those questions. There are no stupid questions. If you don't know it, ask the question. There's people in every company where you go that will love to tell you, steer you the right way, what's going on with it.
And then last question is, do you know or what could a student do now to help them prepare to get a job or a career in manufacturing if they're interested in it?
In manufacturing right now, I would, finish high school. That's a no brainer. You got to finish high school. All these big companies, you got to have your high school degree. That's minimum. If you want to go into college, don't forget manufacturing is also engineering too, in there. HR, that's in manufacturing. People don't think of it, but engineering, accounting, that's all those, you need the whole team. IT, people don't think of that. You need all those functions in manufacturing. Now, if you're just talking about what particular, like I do, here's a chunk of aluminum and you're making something out of it. If that's the field of manufacturing you want to do, obviously you've got trade schools to go to. I know Independent School District has a machine shop trade, in there. You can take the machining, and then when you graduate from high school, go to like a State Tech or Rankin that also does machining, and then end up going to machine shop company, learn from there, and just see where your path takes you. And number one thing is learn. Be sure you enjoy it, ask questions, learn, be humble. Like I said, show up to work. Number one thing, easiest way to get fired is not showing up to work. You start at 7, be there at 15 till 7, not at 7. Get there early. Show up. Don't be a smart aleck. Do what you ask, and then you'll be successful. Like that, you'll be successful. So there's a whole, anything you do, on it, just uh, take your time. Do it correctly. Show up to work. Talk to people. I know the age today is everyone Snapchatting, talking on the phones. Look people in the eye. During your interview, look how nice you're dressed up. Dress up nice for your interview. You have 1 hour, like an art company, make an impression. After that 1 hour, appearance is part of it. Answer the questions, look at someone in the eye and answer it. That's very important also. And that will get you there. So,
Great. All right. So that's everything today, Mr. Norman. Thank you so much again for taking your time out of your day to help us out for our career fair, and thank you for sharing your story.
absolutely. Thank you for being here. Okay. I
Mhm.
appreciate it. You have a good day at school.
Thank you. You have a great day at work.
All right. Talk to you later, young man.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.